It's where qualified pilots and air carriers meet.
How does it work?
Well, it's a two-part application. One side is for pilots to maintain a living, breathing profile that contains their aviation experience and relevant job history. The other side of the application is for recruiters, and it has a suite of tools that they can use to track applicants, source new pilots specifically based on their air carrier requirements, and manage their web page and a bunch of different tools for hiring pilots. Yeah. Would you like me to show you the tools here?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, great. So this is the recruiter side of the program. When a recruiter logs in, they're going to be right here on this landing page. And the first thing they get to see is a list of pilots that have recently pre-qualified based off of their own pre-quals for that carrier. And so they can see people that are genuinely interested in the carrier. The pilot can come over here. They can click there.
So this is what recruiters would use then.
Yeah.
When a pilot passes their pre-qualification questionnaire.
Exactly. And so it basically forwards them their entire profile here. And so they can see a complete breakdown of everything they want to know about this pilot. First thing is they can see all their flight hours and the applicable different aircraft categories and the different hours they've earned with those aircrafts. They can come through, they can get their contact info, their certifications, employment history, education. They can see how they answered each individual pre-qualification.
Okay, so if I'm an air carrier, I can set up my own pre-qualification questionnaire, and pilots who are interested will fill that out, and I know they're pre-qualified.
Exactly. We have this handy tool right here where they can come and add questions, and they can make the question a pre-qual. If they answer no, they're not qualified. If they answer yes, they go on to the next phase. Or they can make it information capture if they just want a general answer from the pilot.
I see. If I'm a recruiter, suppose I want to score a pilot. Can I do that?
You can. All of this information is actually recorded into our database. And depending on how you would like the metrics measured, we can actually customize the program to allow you to score the pilots and really any metrics you set.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So PilotCredentials is really a database of pilots. And if I'm a recruiter, I can search for the type of pilot I'm looking for. How does the search screen work?
Well, here on the search screen, we have many different metrics that you can search for the pilots on. One of the most common is they come down and they're looking for total flight hours. Flight hours are the most important thing that a pilot can accrue. And this allows you to search by that metric. 1,500 hours.
Yeah, so I'm looking for all the pilots in the database with 1,500 hours or more.
We just did a search. We just came back with 4,605 profiles of pilots that have all earned at least a total of 1,500 flight hours. And so you can come here, you can look at the individual profiles. One of the key tools is the emailer, because obviously you don't want to spend the time to contact each one.
Yeah, so if I want to reach out to the pilot.
We have a custom built emailer in here where you can actually create an email specifically for those pilots, and you can actually submit it and send it to all of them at once. And it's going to be about your airline, enticing them to come in and fill out your pre-qual questionnaire.
I see. So if I do a query and I find a bunch of pilots that match my query, I can then invite them to fill out my pre-qualification questionnaire.
Exactly.
And then what I end up with are pilots, the exact type of pilots I want to find.
Exactly. You've carved out a slice of your ideal candidates right there. En masse, over 4,000 of them.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, those are very powerful tools.
So suppose I find some pilots and I want to, say, flag them for specific reasons. Pilots I like, pilots I'm really interested, pilots maybe that I want to go back and contact later. Is there a tool that allows me to do that?
There is, absolutely. In our system here, we have custom flags. You can name and define the different types of flags you want to be able to attach to their profile for your workflow.
Oh, so I can set up my own flags.
Exactly. And so here you can see a couple examples. Need more flight hours, interested, hired, rejected. So here we've defined the flags, and then you can go on to flag profiles, and you can see the different categories. So
I see. So I can see pilots that I've flagged in a particular way.
Absolutely. And any pilot that has filled out your pre-quals is automatically sorted to the pre-qualified flag categories.
So if they fill out my pre-qualification questionnaire and they pass and they're pre-qualified, they automatically get a flag, and I can go back and see everybody who's pre-qualified for the specific job that I have.
Exactly, yeah. It keeps them all in one place, sorted and organized.
Nice.
Yeah.
Suppose I want to set up, say, my own website for my recruiting, my own recruiting page. Can I do that with PilotCredentials?
You can. Here inside of the program, we actually have a web page builder. You can upload your own artwork, you can put in your own prequals, and really anything that you'd like to say about the carrier and let the pilots know about your organization and what it would be like to work for them. And this is all done through the app. It's instantly updated the second you change it. No developer or outside people need to be involved. You have complete control over your identity.
That's nice. So I can create my own careers page specifically for hiring pilots.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so I'm curious. You just showed me the tool that a recruiter would use to find pilots. And I'm just curious, how many pilots are there in the database right now?
In our database, we have over 4,000, actually about 4,700 active job-seeking pilots right now.
That's nice. So if I'm a pilot, what does my experience look like to a pilot when they're filling out their profile?
So when a pilot first creates their profile, they're going to come in and be on the profile summary page. And this is where it actually guides them through the different sections they need to complete to have their profile completed. They can put in summary information and set their profile to visible or invisible depending on whether they want to be considered for employment.
I see. So if I'm a recruiter and I'm searching for a pilot, will I only see visible pilots?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so these are pilots that are actively job seeking.
Yes, they're looking to get hired.
Great, great.
Yeah. And so here the next section is the contact section. And this is where they want to go ahead and put their information in. And this allows you to reach out to them via email, via phone. They're also going to put their address history here, and that's a very important part for the pilots. And so they can put all the information regarding their address.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
And then the most important section is the flight hours section. This is where they can add all the different types of aircraft that they've flown in, as well as the different types of experience in those aircraft.
I see. So they pick from a list of what aircraft they've flown, and then they put in the number of hours of experience in that aircraft.
Exactly.
I see. What if they have an electronic logbook and they record their flight hours that way?
We have a setup with Cordine Log 10 Pro X, where once a pilot has updated their logbook, they can actually sync that over to PilotCredentials and instantly update this page.
So once they update their logbook, it updates their PilotCredentials profile.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Yes. All right. Another section is certifications. Pilots want to be able to show that they have certifications in ATP, training, instructor, anything relevant to their experience that a recruiter would want to see. There's also the employment section, and this is very important. Recruiters obviously would like to see where they worked before and where they've gained experience.
Their entire job history.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so they can have the whole 10-year history right here inside the application available for the recruiter.
Okay.
And the education.
You got education, all right.
Education allows them to talk about where they've gone to school and where they learned to fly a plane.
Okay, good, good.
And then we have an attachment section, and they can upload different documents that are relevant to their aviation experience. Certs, first class medical, if they want to copy the passport, and their resume. And that's all right there for the recruiter as well.
And you have references.
Our references system, they can actually put in their own reference as well as source an outside referral. So if an outside person who has worked with this individual has their email, they can actually come and submit a referral for this pilot, and it will be attached to their profile.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. What's that data sync?
So data sync is a tool in here that allows pilots who sign up for the service, they're able to synchronize their data over to other carriers' applications.
I see. So if I'm a pilot and I have my application here in PilotCredentials Global, I can actually kind of beam it to the other air carriers that I'm applying to.
Exactly. It's a huge time-saving measure.
That is nice. So they don't have to rekey their information over and over again. They just put it in one spot, and from there it goes to wherever they're trying to apply.
Yes.
And what air carriers actually use PilotCredentials right now?
Southwest, FedEx, American Airlines, Emirates, PSA, and it's growing.
Nice, nice. And so all I have to do is have one profile here, and I've taken care of applying at all these other airlines.
To multiple places,
That's
yes.
nice.
Yeah.
So if I'm a job-seeking pilot and I'm applying at different airlines, is there a tool that lets me find out if I might be qualified at these different airlines?
Yes, there is. Based off of your aviation experience, here you can see carriers that you might be qualified to apply, and it lists them all out here with their individual prequals. For instance, if you are interested in applying to, we'll say Emirates Airline, you can click here, and you can come and see which programs they have available and you can directly see if you pre-qual for them. When you fill that out and submit it, if you've passed, it will forward a snapshot of your pilot profile directly to the recruiter's email.
I see. So that completes the whole cycle then. So I enter my profile. It shows me who I might be qualified for, but then I fill out a pre-qualification questionnaire. And if I am qualified, then it automatically gets sent to the recruiter.
Exactly. Your entire pilot profile is delivered right to their desk.
Wow, that makes short work out of finding the best job.
It really does.